What is up, everybody? It is I, Ronin, coming at you with a learning how to play for a fairly new archetype, Rikka. Or, oh, sorry, if you hear noises, I still had a weird setup. But yes, Rikka. So, outside of not noticing that I don't have a full side deck, which, yeah, but, so if you don't know Rikka, they're water plants and they make Xyz monsters. That is basically what you need to know. Their main gimmick is sort of like tributing things, be it your opponent's side of the field or your side of the field. They disrupt with it mostly through teardrop here. And it's a really neat idea that deserves experimentation for sure, but I wanted to try a pure list just to sort of get a feel for what would be possible and what would not be. And I mean, it's not great, but like it's not the worst thing in the world either. You can pretty consistently get out any of your Rikka Xyz monsters. You know, you don't gotta be super concerned about it. You get a disruption out of it as well, and you know, if you already have some of the necessary combo pieces, you can just search even more disruption with like Rikka Sheet. So it's not awful, but let's go over the monster lineup first. So we have Free Titania, the Princess of Camellias. Free Hellbore, the Rikka Fairy. Free Snowdrop, the Rikka Fairy. 2 Erica, the Rikka Fairy. Free Moodin, the Rikka Fairy. Free Primula, the Rikka Fairy. Free Lonefire. Free Rikka Petal. And free Effect Failers. So we'll go ahead and start with Titaniel because she is the only non-Rikka monster. She is a level 8 plant, wind attribute, 2800 attack, 2600 defense. And as a quick effect, it lets you tribute a face-up plant monster to negate the activation of a card or effect that targets a card on the field. Hellbore kind of does something similar, but this is better a little bit just because, I mean, it lets you tribute things and be done with it. So it's pretty sick. It's a good card, and it makes the trade-in much more viable because we are running a grand total of 9 level 8 monsters, so that'll be live most of the time. Now to get into the actual Rikka stuff, starting with the sort of primary combo starter, we have Rikka Petal. When it's normal or special summoned, add a Rikka card from your hand to your deck, and during the end phase of your opponent, I believe it's your opponent's turn, yes, you can re-special summon it if you control no monsters or all the monsters you control are plants. So yeah, this is a hard once per turn. It's a good searcher, great consistency boosting. Lets you do wild things with 1 for 1 with graveyard setup. It's on the field to be tributed for any of your other Rikka effects. So yeah, it's really good. The recursion is a little slow, but at least it has it. After that, we have what you will be searching most of the time with Rikka Petal. Moodon the Rikka Fairy. So she special summons herself if you tribute a plant from your hand or field. Or, sorry, one plant monster. Sorry, it has to be on the field. There are some that just say hand or field, but never mind. And when it's special summoned by its effect, it gets to add a Rikka spell trap from your deck to your hand. So what you'll usually be searching with this is either going to be, Primula, the Rikka Fairy, or your Snowdrop, the Rikka Fairy. So Snowdrop special summon itself by tributing a plant, as well as another plant from your hand whenever it is a normal summon, or whenever it's summoned, sorry. So you have 2 there, and its ability lets you modulate the levels to that of 1 plant on the field. So it's pretty good. It's sort of the thing you used for Rikka Glamour, but we'll go over Rikka Glamour in a second. Primula is a level 4. If a monster is tributed, you can special summon it during the except during the damage step in defense position, and it lets you target up to 2 plants on the field that you control to increase their level by 2 till the end of the turn. So it is also a level modulation thing. So sort of the ideal hand to start with would be Petal. So you summon Petal, search Moodon, Tribute Petal for Mudon. Mudon searches you Rikka Glamour. Rikka Glamour gets you your Snowdrop or your Primula. Most likely Snowdrop though, because it can special summon itself. And then from there, you special summon Snowdrop with whatever other plant you have in your hand, modulate their level to 8 or 6 or 4. I do not run the rank 4, but there is a rank 4. And from there, you just make a Xyz monster. Hellbore is more protection than anything. It's another level 8. Like Titanial, you can get rid of it from hand to stop a effect that targets a monster on the field. If you tribute a plant while it's in the graveyard, you can special summon it to your field. So it's not bad. Beyond that, though, we just have Erica, who somewhat honests Rikkas when they or plant monsters in total when they attacking then 1,000 more attacking defense. And if a plant's monsters you control is tributed while this card is in the grave, you can special it in defense, but banish when it leaves the field. I don't know. More attack points are always nice. This deck usually gets pretty big, so it's a little win more most of the time, but it's worth running it at least one. Beyond that, though, we have free effect veilers for our hand trap, free lone fire blossoms for a little, consistency, and hey, there's a next taco thing. Yeah, so everything is basically based around getting to your Rikka petals, because they're your one card stop to success, pretty much. But yeah, let's go ahead and move into the spell and trap lineup. We have 1 1-for-1, free trade-in, free Rikka Glamour, 1 Foolish Burial, free Called by the Grave, and free Rikka Sheet. So some of these I'm going to assume you already know, like Foolish Burial, send something from the deck, Called by the Grave, stop hand traps. 1-for-1, it's extra petal access. Trade-in, we went over just because we have so many level 8 monsters in this deck. Oh, hey. That would be, Ashvire, another buddy of mine. He sent me a thing. I'll take a look at that later. So we're going to be going over for spell traps, Rikka Glamour, and Rikka Sheet. So we'll start with Rikka Glamour, which is basically just Rhoda for Rikkas. And the cool thing about them is all their spell traps have a effect that you can just activate it, or you can tribute a plant to activate it to do something more with it. So in Rikka Glamour's case, it just adds a Rikka monster from your deck to your hand. That's it. And if you tributed a card to activate it, you get to add another plant monster at the same original level as the Rikka monster, but a different name from your deck to your hand. So it's not bad. I think the idea is, now I don't know the timing on this. I think the idea is you tribute Mudon to search Snowdrop, and then you do it to search Primula. And I think the idea is that Primula special summons itself at that point. But I'm not 100% on that. I did not get to really mess with the timing there, but it would be worth testing. So, it's a good thing to do. And then Rikka Sheet, again, you activate it, you have the option of making a tribute. If you make a tribute, you steal someone's monster. Otherwise, though, they just can't activate whatever monster effect they had that turn. So, not bad. So now to just go over the basic combo once again, because I know this explanation has been a little wonky. So basically full combo is Rikka Petal and any other plant monster, preferably a Rikka. So you summon Rikka, you summon Petal, search Mudon, use Petal as a tribute for Mudon. Mudon searches you Rikka Glamour. From there you activate Rikka Glamour, possibly tributing your Mudon or any other plants you might have at the time to search Snowdrop. If you have another plant in hand, you tribute your Mudon for Snowdrop, summon the other plant, level modulate into a rank 8, a rank 6, or a rank 4 if you are running it. And that's the basic play for this deck. If you have extra steps, you can obviously search things like Rikka Sheet for a little more disruption, but that's kind of what the deck does. Now, though, let's go over what you're going to be ending on. So first, the generic things, Nightmare Package for removal, Aromatherapy Jasmine because we are all plants, Boral Sword for OTKs, Borload for stealing things and being annoying, Emerald for recycling, Gauntlet Launcher because it's an extra rank 6 you can run and it's pretty decent. And Titanic Hope because it is a negate that you will have access to if you want it. Now for the Rikka Xyz monsters we are running, we'll start with the boss one, Teardrop. Requires 2 level 8 monsters, 2800 attack and defense, and it lets you detach a material from itself in order to force your opponent to tribute a monster that you choose. It's a quick effect if you have a plant monster as material, which we will always have. It is a hard once per turn, and whenever a monster is tributed, this card gains 200 attack for each until the end of the turn you do it. So it's removal, it's disruption, and it gains attack. Pretty solid stuff. Now we move on to the rank 6, Kanzashi, the Rikka Queen. It requires 2 level 6 monsters. And if a monster is tributed except during the damage step, you can detach material from itself in order to target a monster in either graveyard to special summon it with negated effects, and it becomes a plant monster. And if a plant monsters you control would be destroyed by a card effect, you're allowed to tribute a plant monster from your hand or field instead to sort of give them that little shield. It's good protection. The tribute fodder is certainly nice if you are dealing with an opponent who just absolutely loads up the graveyard. But yeah, it's a really good card. It protects everything, which is pretty cool, and it plays into the gimmick, which I do like. Beyond that, though, we just have the side deck, pretty standard stuff. We have 1 extra Erica in case we are ever in a super like high attack point needing moment. Free Lightning Storm in case we want to go second. Free Blizzard to stop our certain things that hurt us, like quick play spells and all that. 1 skill drain because this deck doesn't particularly care about having all of its abilities of its main monsters proccing off. 1 red reboot for those trap heavy matchups. Free Ash Blossom in case we need to stop some searching, and free Gamecill as our kaiju for going second option. But yeah, that all being said, that's the deck profile. If you're new here, we just go over a couple replays. I show you what I like about the deck, what I thought went right, what I thought went wrong, and so on and so forth. And yeah, I'll see you all in the first replay. Alright, on the first replay with player, we are tab as usual, and our opponent is playing some of the new Plunder Patrol stuff. I actually do want to make a video on that soon, so I'll probably be paying a little bit more attention to what he's doing as well. But yeah, so he's going to be going first, which is fine because this deck really can go first or second, and we're not completely dead. We do have Trade-In and Hellbore, so we have some options. But we're going ahead and going into our opponent's turn. He's going to activate the Plunder Patrol Shipyard, then go ahead and hit us with the Pot of Desires. In order to draw 2, he gets the Danger Snake as well as a Ash Blossom. Then the Shipyard effect will allow him to search, I believe, by discarding 1, which was pretty smart, getting rid of the second Desires for the Bluebeard, the Plunder Patrol Shipwright. Then he's going to summon. Then he summons the Redbeard, and because of Bluebeard's ability, is now able to special summon itself from hand. Then he's going to use the Danger Snake, accidentally losing his Ash Blossom, but getting the snake on board and draw. Then he's going to make the Link monster, Blackbeard. And he's going to go ahead and get a search from his Bluebeard as well as attaching onto the Redbeard. So pretty good so far. Then he's going to set the Trap Plunder Patrol Party. We'll see what that does in a second, I guess. However, it's on to us now, and we are in a perfectly fine position here. So we're going to go ahead and get rid of the Titanial because it doesn't have much potential use at the moment. He is going to activate the Party to go ahead and equip something from deck. As well as get some draw action, as well as get some searching action going. So we did thankfully draw into our petal, and this is about full combo here. So we go ahead and add Muden. Muden tributes itself. He's going to go ahead and use the Redbeard effect to summon yet another captain. Then Muden special summons itself. He is going to go ahead and use the party's graveyard effect. However, because something was tributed, we are able to use our Primula in hand to special summon itself. Like that. He is going to be able to equip the party. We are going in right now to just activate the Glamour, search the Snowdrop, tributing our Primula to go ahead and summon Snowdrop as well as Hellbore. Then we overlay into Teardrop, and we're going to use its ability to go ahead and tribute one of his Blackbeards to significantly power him down, which is going to lead us to powering up. At that point, we'd be able to beat over Blackbeard. We have a couple pseudo-honests in hand, so we'd be dealing pretty major damage. And yeah, that's basically the full combo for this deck. This is everything going pretty much ideally. The one downside was not opening petal, but we have trade-in and a lot of level 8 monsters, so it's fairly fine if that's the case, as long as we have a trade-in. But next replay, we are going to see the deck not doing so well, and I'll see you guys there. Alright, going to the second and final replay of Riles, playing some cubics, and as you might have noticed, this hand is hot garbage, but we'll see why in a second here. So there's really not much we can do with this outside of set up a petal in the graveyard, hoping we don't get OTK'd. And we go ahead and just set our Ricochet as well as our trade-in as a bluff. Ricochet is an actual disruption though, so that's not going to be awful. However, we're now into our opponent who is going to go ahead and summon Duza. So he has his entire play. We activate Ricochet, attempting to keep him from activating his ability. However, I forgot this was more of a trigger thing, so that was my fault. But he does send the Cubic Karma for the Rhoda effect. Obviously, he searches Crimson Nova. And from there, he just summons Crimson Nova, activates Cubic Karma to go ahead and set the graveyard a little more, make his boy a little beefier, and we just get attacked for game. Yeah, because burn. And that's the problem with the deck. You run a lot of high-level monsters, and a lot of them aren't super synergetic on their own, so you kind of have to... I don't know, bricks... I know it's kind of redundant to say bricks hurt, because everyone knows bricks hurt, but bricks really hurt here, because usually with a lot of decks, even if it's a brick, it's like, okay, I can still put something on the board. It's not ideal, it's not going to disrupt, it's not going to do major damage, but at the very least, I can defend myself. Rikka does not have this. You cannot defend yourself with Rikka, I'm afraid. But, yeah, so final thoughts on the deck. I do believe there's a lot of potential for experimentation. I think it's a unique idea. I like the whole sort of tributing thing. You know, it's worth the experimentation, but on its own, I don't know. I'm not a fan of it on its own, I don't think. It's a cool idea. It's a decently fun deck, but as far as actual viability goes, on its own, it's a no-go. But you know what? Let me know what you think of this deck and archetype. If there's anything you want me to play next, anything that I did horribly, awfully wrong, because I'm sure I did, probably. Or anything along those lines, just let me know in the comments. But yeah, all that being said, like if you liked, comment if you have something to say, and subscribe if you want some more. This has been Ronin, signing off.